Hi, my name is Amy, and today I'm going to be taking you through a quick 15-minute Pilates sequence that is going to target your core and the areas around it. Most of it is going to be done in a quadruped position, so we'll get started on hands and knees. Bringing the wrists right underneath the shoulders, spreading your fingers nice and wide. Take some time to bring the weight into the fingertips and the knuckles so that you're not ditching it all into the wrists. The knees are going to be right underneath your hips, untucking the toes so you're on the tops of the feet. And we'll just start by rocking our weight a little bit forward and back. And coming back to center, we'll start to warm up the spine with some cat-cow. So as you inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl the tailbone up. And as you exhale, round and contract into your spine, looking back towards the navel. Moving with your own breath for a few rounds. You can start to add some circular motion if that feels good. Or maybe some figure eights, whatever feels intuitively right in your body. And coming back to neutral, think about drawing your belly button in towards your spine. Reaching forward with the crown of the head and reaching back with your tail. Push into the hands and try to puff up in between your shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, drop just the space between your shoulder blades. So you're melting the chest down in a thoracic push-up. So it's a much smaller movement, but similar to your cat-cow, just isolated in your upper back. Last one like this. And coming back to neutral, we're just going to extend the right leg back, keeping the right toes down and curling that right hip down towards the ground as well. So you're not ditching your weight one way or the other. Just pressing into the toes and pressing back through the heel. And bring that right knee in. We're going to crawl the left fingertips forward at the same time you extend that right leg out. So the right toes can stay down and then bring it back in. Or you can try extending those left fingers forward, right toes back, lifting them up and then returning to neutral. We're going to start the other side first. So extending the left leg back, keeping those left toes down, wrapping that left hip down, pressing back through the left heel. Bringing the left knee back in. So as we crawl the right fingers forward, we'll extend the left leg back. And you can stay here, or you can float both up and then come back to neutral. So we'll start to alternate between the two in our bird dog. So left arm reaches forward, right leg reaches back. That left bicep can hug along the left ear if it's lifted up. And then come back to neutral. Right hand reaches forward, left leg extends back. And come back to center. We're going to alternate a little bit faster, picking up the pace here. Right hand, left leg, back to center. Left hand, right leg, back to center. A couple more times. Last round. And coming back. Now we're going to take one side and hold it. So extending the right leg back, walking the left fingers forward, float them up. Inhale, think about finding as much length as if I'm pulling your finger forward to the front of the room and your heel towards the back of your mat. Take a nice deep breath. Sigh it out. And on our next exhale, you're gonna try to crunch them together. Elbow and knee come together to connect and extend it out. So think about your cat-cow as you extend, you're dropping your belly. As you exhale and crunch together, you're rounding into your spine to make room for the elbow and knee to connect. Last one. Set your hand and knee down. You can wiggle a little bit side to side here. And then we'll crawl those right fingers forward, left toes back, floating them up if you've got it in you. Keep wrapping that left hip down. Really reach and extend, find that length. Curling your left toes down towards the ground, reaching your right fingers forward. Exhale, connect elbow and knee. Inhale to extend and find that length. Last one, this time we are going to hold on this side, finding that length with our breath. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And set it down. You can wiggle a little bit side to side. This time we're going to leave 3 limbs down. So both hands underneath the shoulders still. Left knee is going to stay down and you're going to kick your right foot up towards the sky, as if you could raise the roof with your right heel and then lower it down. Up and down. So little donkey kicks here without letting your right hip open up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that right knee down and then we're going to open it out towards the side in a fire hydrant and bring it back in. Opening the right hip, right knee out, right knee comes back in. And keep that weight in the right hand, not letting yourself dump over towards the left side. For 3, 2, 1, bring it back in, and we're just going to start to make some big circles with that right hip. So bringing your knee back, opening it out to the side, bringing it forward, and then keep going. Reverse directions of this circle. Last one, bringing your right knee down. We're going to go over to the other side. So starting with that raising the roof donkey kick, pressing your left heel up towards the sky, wrapping your left hip down, lower and lift. Try to keep your core engaged so your belly button is drawing in towards your spine. For 3, 2, 1. Bringing it back to center, we're going to open that left knee out towards the side and then bring it back in. Trying not to dump your weight over towards the right side. For 3, 2, 1, bring it in, and then we're going to start to make those big hip circles, bringing it forward, lifting it up, bringing it back. Switching directions of your circle. Last one, bringing your knee down. You can take your big toes together, take your knees wide, sink your hips back, come into a little child's pose here. Melting your forehead down to the mat, crawling your fingers forward. And slowly start to walk your hands back up, returning to a tabletop. Bringing your knees right underneath your hips. Spreading your fingers wide. We're gonna bring the hands just actually a little bit ahead of the shoulders. Start to tuck the toes here and lift your knees up. So we're gonna come into a little bit of a bear hover here. The hands slightly ahead, drawing the belly button towards the spine. And then start to straighten your legs coming into a plank position, and then bend your knees, bringing your heels back to, or your hips back towards your heels. Inhale, come to the plank. Exhale, come back into that sort of modified child's pose hover. Bring it forward and back. Moving with your breath. Last one like this. Holding here in plank. You can drop your knees down if you want to take it into a kneeling plank. Just think about finding one long line from the crown of the head to the back of the knees or to the heels. One more big breath. And sink your hips back towards your heels for one more quick child's pose. Start to pull with your fingers, rippling forward. We're gonna find that sort of plank position to start. Spreading the fingers, extending the legs back, and then we're gonna lift the hips up and back to find a downward dog here. Think about finding length in your spine. Bend into your knees if you need it, and send the hips up towards the sky. Now we're gonna start to ripple forward back into our plank. Exhale to find that pike position or downward dog. Inhale, ripple it forward. Exhale, take it back. Moving with your breath. Last one. This time you can lower all the way down to your belly. Bringing your hands back beside your chest, pushing into the fingertips, cupping your hands, lift into your heart, coming into a little cobra, pressing into the tops of the feet here, opening the chest, drawing the shoulder blades down your back. Exhale to lower. Do a couple more like that. Think about pushing a marble away with your nose as you find length coming into your back bend. Pressing down through the pubic bone so it's one long smooth curve all the way up your spine. Exhale to lower. One more like that. Lowering it down. You can bring the hands right in beside you here. Drawing your elbows back. We're going to try from here. Push in and lift up, drawing the elbows back towards your ribs. And then lower down. Two more like this. Lower it down. Push into the hands, push up. And come back into a closed off child's pose here with the knees together, heels together. Hands can come back towards the heels, turning the palms to face up. And that is where I'll leave you today. Thank you so much for joining me for this quick Pilates class, and I'll see you again soon.